What's up, everybody? It is Charmaine Broome here with Blended Families Rock, and I am so excited for this week's guest. This week we have Miss Kawan London, y'all, the one and the only. So I am going to read a bit about her so you all can get a preview of who she is. Most of you probably already know who she is, but for those that don't, this is Kawan. So Kawan London is 36 years old. She is the amazing mother to London, who happens to be my bonus daughter. She became a mom at 23, and she is truly a survivor. Kawan didn't realize she was pregnant until she was almost 5 months along. She waited to find out what she was having. Delivery time came, and so did the complications. After trying for a natural childbirth, her child's heart rate slowed down, so she had to be put to sleep for an emergency C-section. When she finally woke up, she learned she'd had a beautiful baby girl, but bliss was quickly interrupted due to her bleeding internally. She had two choices: one, to get a piece of her uterus removed to stop the bleeding, or two, to die. And of course, she chose the first option. Shortly after that, she was told her daughter had a heart condition. Kawan, her family, and London's father began to pray. And before they left the hospital, the doctors found no heart issues with London, and Kawan's bleeding was completely controlled. She is truly a survivor. Motherhood is so special to her. She admits she was afraid, and sometimes she still is, but she leans on she and London's amazing support system. It's not always easy, but being London's mother is the best job she says she's ever had. Kawan is also a hard worker. She worked until her due date, and London was 6 days overdue. In addition to that, she was also in school full time, completing clinical hours, and graduated as a phlebotomist. She is also a talented singer who's a part of gospel recording group Miles Mealing and New Movement. She currently sings on the praise team with her church, Greater Hope Ministries, under the leadership of Pastor Caroline Allen Jones. She works for Blue Cross as a provider enrollment analysis. Kawan is a role model to other women, especially mothers. Her transparency via her motherhood journey has blessed so many. She describes herself as real chill. She likes to laugh, travel, sing, read, sleep, watch romantic movies, spend time with London, and she's very family oriented. She is proud to be a part of what she calls the dope mom game. Kawan says, "We work hard and do whatever it takes to provide for London, no matter how hard it gets." Her example is her mom, who gave love and the ultimate protection. Being a hard worker is what she displayed, and Kawan is privileged to have her mother as an example. She helped shape Kawan into the woman that she is today. Y'all, I'm honored to welcome the one and the only. There's no one like her, Kawan London. What is up? How are you?
Hey, girl.
You all right?
Yes, just got off work, but we here. I'm ready.
That's that hard worker though. That's that hard worker. Don't stop. No, don't stop. Don't quit. Straight off work, straight to the interview. Period. Well, I wanted you here today, and I'm so glad that you're here today. I really believe that with the platform with Blended Families Rock, there are so many women who are biological mothers who are experiencing trauma and just different things emotionally, and they are having such a hard time overcoming what some may say are some of the simplest issues, but others may say are hard issues. And so I feel as if there's no better way than to reach those people, than to have you on, because you are London's mom, and I've seen you firsthand. We've seen good days, we've seen bad days. We've seen each other grow and seen Tario grow, just through this journey. And so I feel like your transparency is perfect for being able to reach those people, those women who could potentially, learn from what you have to say. And so I'm really excited about that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And, before we get started, I just want to tell you, I'm just proud of you. And that's just on period.
Thank you, girl. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of
Yes,
us.
very much so.
I mean, of course, we both seen like the growth, like growth went from here to here. And we still have issues. That's what people don't understand, but we'll get through that. But
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So first, I want to ask you, what does being a mom mean to you? Like, what does that mean?
Um, I think some people think that being a mom is, oh, you gotta take care of this, you gotta take care of that, you gotta do this. But it's like much more to that. For me, it was God trusting me to, I guess you could say, He trusted me with another life. He
Mm-hmm.
trusted me to bring a child in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And the day I had her, we didn't have much a long time, but the first moment we had some a long time, I promised God that because He gave me her, I was going to do whatever it took to take care of her.
Mm.
And basically, of course I cried. Of course, I made up a song for me and her. She still know it to this day.
Wow.
But I promised God that I would lead her right down the right path and take care of her needs and wants, and to be one of her best friends, because that
Mm-hmm.
was what I was able to experience with my mom. So being a mom to me is basically being able to take care of another life besides my own, and making sure that whatever she needs and wants, I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that her in the background?
If I tell you what it is, she gonna be mad.
Oh
It's
my
not her.
God.
That's she doing homework. She downstairs
For
doing
real?
homework.
Oh, is
She
she
might
annoyed?
bust in here. If she busts in here, just you know how she
It's
do.
fine, Joe. It's fine. So, in what ways in what ways does London inspire you?
Um, as you know for yourself, London, she may get frustrated. She might cry. She
Mm-hmm.
might get down, but London does not give up. Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever she set her mind to, she's gonna get it done. She's gonna do it. I don't care how long it may take. The example that come to mind with me is when she was in the half body cast.
Mm-hmm.
I cried more than what she did. It was like one of the hardest moments of my life, and I have been through some things when it comes to my health and all. But that seeing the person that you love, the person that you want to protect from everything, seeing them in a half body cast, having to pick them up, take them to the bathroom. Basically, they lost all of their mobility doing, except for the top half of their, body. So when
Mm-hmm.
she was doing that, and she was only 4, but London has been very smart at a very early age. Like she was
Mm-hmm.
doing she was doing things that shocked me at that age, but she was 4, and the doctor told me, I think he told I don't know if you remember, but he told us that, she might move around or she
Mm-hmm.
might not.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember going in the kitchen one day, and London, I freaked out because London was behind me. So basically what happened was London learned to get around in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when she practiced it. I don't know if she just got up and done it. I just remember her coming in behind me while I was in the kitchen and me freaking out because I'm like, is something gonna happen to her? But I remember the doctor said some kids do move around, some kids won't. Some kids might mope around about it, but she was down sometimes because she couldn't be with her friends at school in her new class or whatever. But that's one of the main things that inspired me and kept me going, because no matter what London goes through, she's been through plenty of testimonies, and
Mm-hmm.
London still keeps pushing no matter how hard it gets. And that's what makes me want to keep pushing. When I have my own experiences and I want to just quit and give up, I
Mm-hmm.
think back to those days and those nights where she couldn't sleep and she was in pain, she couldn't scratch, and she didn't have her mobility. And I'm like, okay, well, I got my mobility. What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do about this situation? How am I gonna change that? When London didn't have her mobility, she wasn't complaining about it, and when she was complaining about it, she still decided to learn how to move and walk it, and that's what
Yeah.
basically inspires me about her.
Got it. So let me ask you, because I remember us being in the hospital. That dog is going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we were in the hospital when the accident happened. And I think one thing that stuck out to me or kind of made me feel like, okay, there's really some purpose here. I remember the doctor saying that she wasn't able to be discharged until she used the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And she had such a hard time using the bathroom. She couldn't use the bathroom, couldn't use the bathroom. But it wasn't until the 3 of us were in the bathroom with her that she ended up going. And that kind of stuck out to me in that moment. But it was also weird because at that time, of course, her dad and I weren't married, so we were
Right.
just dating. But it was just kind of, it was good, but it was confusing too, because I just really
Right.
couldn't understand, in terms of like purpose. But I just kind of felt like, okay, yeah, this is probably a sign. Um, has London ever had any weird moments, like where she was confused about the relationship of all three of us, in terms of, being who we are, who we were at the time, and what it was becoming? And if
Um,
she did, how did you help her with that?
yeah, she did. She would when she would be with, y'all, and then she would come home. She would I think she was more over trying to people please, I guess you could say. I guess
Yes.
even like in the hospital, my mind was so gone because of seeing her. I
Mhm.
honestly it the experience, just even you talking about that, the experiences, I just was not there.
Mhm.
So thinking about her, being with her, all three of us and all that stuff, I wasn't even thinking about like how she felt about all of us being there. That
Mm.
was like the furthest thing on my mind.
Mhm.
And then trying to figure out like, okay, honestly, and I felt like, okay, is Taria worried about her? Is he worried about his daughter? Like it
Mhm.
was just so much
A
going on
lot.
at that
Yeah.
time. My mind just really wasn't on blending. It was just
Mhm.
far from that. But um London has this thing where she's like, you okay? You all
Mhm.
right? And one of the things that, me being a single woman, and then she seeing her dad remarried, she asked me that a lot.
Mhm.
And when she would come back home, she would it's like she would be like, I'm like, did you have fun? But she really didn't want to say, yeah, I had fun. I was with, I think she was calling you Charmaine at the time,
Mhm. Mhm.
but this was at the beginning. And, she was like, yeah, I had a good time. And every time she would come home, regardless of, because it was time she didn't know me and you talked.
Mhm.
So, because we don't include her in adult business,
Mhm.
especially not when we're trying to learn each other and trying to,
Mhm.
have these conversations, and
Mhm.
then we bring London in. That's the way we chose to do that.
Mhm.
But she would say, you okay? Or, well, I had fun. Do you mind if I go with my dad?
Mm.
And I'm like, London, I'll never keep you from your dad.
Mhm.
That's just, that never has been, no matter what me and him went through, me and you went through, I just never was able to do that. But what made me really change, include my attitude, because we all know it was horrible. And it can still be, but I'm grown. But seeing my daughter be two people,
Uh-huh.
watching her be this upbeat child when she's with me, and I'm sure with y'all, and then
Mhm.
when we're together, it's like confusion.
Mhm.
She don't know how to act. She don't know which person to sit beside. She didn't know which person to laugh with. She even would see us laughing, and she would be like, I'm clueless. I don't know what to do. So, being that as an adult, it's hard for me to
Mhm.
act like I don't like somebody, or to not show my true feelings.
Mhm.
I could only imagine as a child how she felt.
Mhm.
So I had to talk with her. I had to talk. Me and you had to talk about it. And
Mhm.
I talked with her, and I told her, I said, London, it's okay if you love Charmaine.
Mm.
It's okay
I
if
never
you,
knew that.
yeah, it's okay if you accept her. It's okay if you had fun with your dad.
Mhm.
Y'all go a lot of places, it's a lot to do in Atlanta. It's a lot to do when y'all going to Columbia. Like, I know that you're having a good time. You don't have to tell me.
Mhm.
And um the first day we went out to eat, we usually just drop her off, say, vaguely say hey or whatever,
Mhm.
and keep it pushing. But we went to California Dreaming, and
Mhm.
we met there, and we all decided to go in and eat. I think that was the most confusing thing for her. But it was I could literally see the burden drop off her shoulders
Yeah.
after she was like, but we had a talk previously to that, and I told her, your dad is with Charmaine. I've never had a problem with if he gonna have one person around you. That was my deal. If it's one person that's gonna be around you, I don't have a problem with that. And if it's gonna be Charmaine, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna live with it, and we're gonna have fun with them. I'm not one of those parents, mothers, dads. It's nothing wrong. It's a difference in asking your kids, did they have a good time? Or what they did or whatever when it comes to them going somewhere. But don't put your kids in that awkward position when it's what you doing, who was with you, how you this, how you that. It's a difference in caring about their well-being, and if they had a good time, and being nosy.
That's good.
It's a total difference. So once London, I would feel bad for not really asking her, because I didn't want her to feel like I was like badgering her, like what you do, how you do, when you do. But I did want to know, did you have a good time? At least trying to learn more about you to see how you were interacting with her.
Okay.
So that's when she basically, once we had the talking, she was able to be open, and she seen us communicate a little bit more. Then that's how, basically everything panned out.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because you said that you told her it's okay for her to accept me. It's okay for her to love me. Why do you think, what can you say to another bio mom as the reason why that's so important? Maybe to a mom who's struggling because I don't want my child to feel anything towards this woman. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, it's gonna kind of dip into the other question that you have for me.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and go to that question when you ask me,
okay,
about moms. Wait, am I going too far?
No.
Okay, because it's gonna tie into that question.
Okay.
About how a bio mom would feel if losing their position, or if they feel some kind of way because of the other woman.
Well, not losing, because you would never lose your position, but you mean like having to share, or having another woman being a mother figure to your daughter. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would tell anybody, mom, first off, you gotta heal first. For anything. You're gonna have to heal. If you don't heal, it's not gonna work out. I'm a firm believer of that. And I mean healing from you and the dad. That was the majority of my issue, because it was kind of no closure, and it was just like kind of move on. Hey, Charmaine's here, blah blah blah. But I would tell that mom to basically get to know that bonus parent for yourself. Don't go through the dad. Don't go through what he say, she say, because you're gonna hear a lot of that. Get to know that person for yourself first. Once you heal, get to know that, then you get to know that person for yourself. Then the open communication is gonna come. Y'all communicate with each other, and I guess that's basically what I done, because it took me a long time to get to know you, because I heard other things, not bad things about you. They took pictures, or they did this and they did that, and all of that other stuff was just, it started small and it got big, and I wasn't interested in trying to get to know you, or getting to know what kind of person you were towards London. So I guess to get back to the telling the mom, I would tell the mom to get to know that woman first, because she's not 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, unless you a raggedy mama, I guess you could say, you're not no good mama to your kids. Your kids know who you are. And your kids know who had them. Your kids know. But 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, I learned that woman ain't trying to take your place. She's not trying to come in and be the mama. Because my thing was, my mom, that ain't my daughter's mama. She only got one mama. And that was my attitude in the beginning, because of fear. Because, especially if you have one child. That was my only child, and it's possibly my only chance to have another child. So I felt like,
well, go ahead.
Right. She got the man now. I'm healed from that. Okay. she ain't get my daughter.
Mm.
That was the way my mindset went, because in the Black communities, I'm gonna say the African American communities, it's hard to accept stepmoms, bonus moms, all that. We don't see that.
Got
And
it.
my experience, I didn't have a good experience with mine.
Mm.
She's no longer mine anymore, but I didn't have a good experience. So that's what I was looking towards, and that I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of moms sadly are looking at, because we don't see those examples that we need. So that's what, those things are what made me be like, yeah, no, she's not, because if she do something to my daughter, then we're gonna fight. That's it was strictly attitude, strictly ain't no trying, because I didn't get to know you for me. I got to know you from what everybody else was saying.
So what you're basically saying is, bio moms who are no longer with their child or their children's father, the best thing for them to do in order to rise above, any type of negativity is to heal first, just to make sure. Now, what tips can you give them? Like, what's one thing that they can do that would help them in the healing process, help them to get there?
The first thing is acceptance. I had to accept the fact, I don't care how many years it was, just being honest, I thought Taria was the person I was gonna marry.
Really?
So long. And all I know now, we don't have a lot of women in my family to be married, but all I know is them to stay in long relationships. I've never saw anything other than that. Wow. So I'm thinking, okay, so I done been with this man all this time. This it for me. So I didn't have no other plans or no other thoughts. So I felt like when you came into play, like I felt like, first of all, he was playing us both. So right. So I'm sitting here like, okay, but I got the kids, so okay, I'm probably gonna win this battle. But that ain't what happened. So when I finally accepted that, then I was like, okay, instead of when I see this man having an attitude towards him, or feeling like, oh, well, I know I can have you, I'm not worried about it, whatever, blah, 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 having that ratchet attitude. I was like, no, first of all, he chose. So we not letting him do all the extra stuff no more. He chose what he wanted. You better than that. Don't let nobody play you like that. Don't let nobody. Let him raise his kid. If it ain't about his kid, keep it pushing. You don't gotta have an attitude about it, but let him know firmly, like, we ain't playing them games. Once I accepted it and I was able to face Tario and forgive him for the hurt that I experienced, that's what helped me keep pushing. And honestly, you wasn't like a bad person. Honestly. And that's what it is. Like, most people, like, they not bad people. They not, it wasn't like you was doing nothing to me.
Right.
It's just I wasn't healed yet, so I wasn't ready to accept you being around my daughter, because I wasn't even healed from what Taria had put me through. So I would tell the mom, first you have to heal. It's no way around it, because at first I was trying to just talk to you. And then it was a moment where I was just trying to talk to Taria. But how am I do that? How am I just talk to you, and that's her whole daddy? So once I was able to finally talk to Tario and able to talk to him like a human being, and us not fussing, and then I was able to sit back and watch for a long time. I would sit back and watch you and how you were acting. After a while, I was just like, you know what? This is it. So first I would say heal, and then I would say talk to that person. You don't never know. First of all, they probably more dope than what you really think they are. And it could be a long lasting friendship. You don't know, because me and you don't talk hours and hours and hours and hours, hours and hours and hours. So you never know how much you have in common with a person until you get to know them. Because Taria can say, yeah, she is a dope person, give her a chance, blah, blah, blah. He can say that. But you got to get to know them for you.
For sure. For sure. For sure. So when you first saw me, when you first met me, your thoughts were like, I ain't, like, whatever. Like, she ain't You know what I'm saying? Like,
That was
explain.
my first thought. My
Okay.
first thought was no. My first thought was, oh, she extra. That's my first thought.
I remember
Cause
you
you
told
would come in the
me
house and you would be like, "Mom, Aunt Barbara," like
that.
that's like,
That's
but
because
see,
I'm animated.
cause you know I'm chilling. Cause I'm like, I'm in here looking like, okay, well, and then my mind, as because I would be stopping by and then I would be going to sing in Augusta, so
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, finally, I was like, well, maybe she trying to make her presence known because I mean, I was here for a long time. I don't have a problem with none of his family, so maybe she trying to make her presence known. Okay, but then you came around again after all. This is after all the commotion and fight and all that, blah blah blah.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, yeah. After all of that, I was like, me and this girl really don't have no issues with each other. I don't even know her. The growth started coming in then, because by then I had healed. I was healed by then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that girl ain't even did nothing to me. She would First of all, she wasn't in a relationship with me. So what I'm mad for her for? She didn't know me and I didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the problem? She ain't never did nothing to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I mad at her for?
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, I was like, I'm gonna I never told you this though. I was like, but I'm gonna talk to her at some point. I don't care if Taria mad. I don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to her or whatever. If something come out, because I felt like Taria didn't want some stuff to come out.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
wasn't trying to out him. I wasn't even
Right.
on that no more. But see, he didn't know that because my attitude. He didn't really know my growth because me and him didn't talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he was like, because Taria chill, so he probably was like, I don't know
So,
what the girl gonna say to her, and I don't know what, because I didn't know you was as vocal as you are then. So
mm-hmm.
he probably knew that. So he probably was like, I don't know what they about to say to each other. So, but I had a dream about you,
Wow.
and you was about to commit suicide.
What?
You was
Jesus.
sitting on
The
you was sitting on the curb, and I said one thing to you, and you just lost it. And I kept saying for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I never said nothing about this because I don't know. You know how I am.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't. Okay, hold on. There she go. Okay, there she go. But um, and not I was not 2 weeks later. Your mom passed away. Not 2 weeks
Dang.
later, and I had the text message for you the night before your mom passed, but I
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, I go to work early, so I'm gonna go ahead and send it to her in the morning. I ain't even gonna send it to her this late. I'm gonna send it in the morning.
Mm.
And baby, you hit me back with the well, you told me, you said, oh, you don't gotta talk to me because my mama died. That's basically how you. That's basically
Did that?
that's basically what you said. Basically, you didn't
Oh,
say it in that way, but that's how I read it. That's how. No, you told me. I think we had a phone. No, you texted to me. You basically was like, "Thank you, but you don't have to basically talk to me." Are you talking to? Did this come from my mom passing?
ah.
Okay, so I said, you know what? She grieving. So I
I don't remember that.
yes, I'll never forget that. And I was like, and that's one of them situations where it's like, man, I wish I would have before this so she could know like it really was genuine.
Right, right, right.
So after that, I told myself like I had already told myself, I coached myself like I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her. I don't care how extra she acting the next time I see her. I don't care. And I think I spoke to you the next time I saw you like regular, and you was like, "Hey."
I was shocked.
It's like you was yeah. I will
Wow.
never forget. It's like you was like, "Huh, hey, how you doing?" Because I think I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" or something. You was like, "Hey,
But
how are you?"
I think that, even with you saying that, it took a lot for you to do that, to reach out to me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And truthfully, you doing that was almost like an icebreaker to a degree. Even if I didn't even respond in a way that let you know, okay, maybe, you know. But I think that that's dope, and it's like, what would happen if other biological mothers got to that point to where they were like, you know what, let me just try. You know what I'm saying?
It don't have to be a dream. It don't
Right.
have to be nothing all spiritual. It can just be just because if I don't believe in the whole, oh, he gonna be there for 18 years. Taria gonna be there for the rest of London's life, and I'm gonna be there, and you gonna be there. That's what marriage is, forever in my eyes. So ain't no way I'm gonna be sitting here with no attitude every time I see you for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's the mindset. Like I start, I'm okay. He about to marry, especially when y'all got engaged. I ain't about to have no attitude every day, every time I see you for the rest of my life. It's just not even. It's not even happening. And then I was like, at some point, we're gonna have to talk. At some point, we're gonna have to be with London. London gonna have school stuff. London gonna have sports. London gonna have just stuff. London gonna want to go out to eat. London gonna want. We're gonna have to do stuff as parents. Like it's got to be. So that's when I was like, moms, or I guess we talked to the mom. You, it ain't gonna. She might not come to you because she might not know how to approach you. You're gonna have to be the bigger person sometimes. That's just in life, period. You're gonna have to be the bigger person and be like, okay, something gotta give. Cause you're the mom. It ain't that you have to do it, but you're the mom. So you need to be that example for your kid too. So I was like, you know what? Taria was gone one weekend, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask her, does she want to come up here to London's game to see her cheer?
You sure did.
Alone. She alone, not Notaria, just me and my family. My family treated her like like family, just like they still do to this day. No matter if we talking or not, that's just how my family is. So you moms, y'all have to step up and do what y'all got to do sometimes, because that woman don't know how you gonna approach her, because only the dad knows you. The mom, the bonus mom, does not know you. She knows what she's heard, and even sometimes it's stuff that the dad says that it might not be the truth, just out of anger or out of hurt. We human.
Yeah, I
So
believe.
hearing things, and not knowing that person for yourself, you just gonna have to be the bigger person and step up and do what you got to do. Because once you realize your child is the common denominator of everything, and that's what matters, all that other stuff should be out the door. And that's what I start realizing. Like, it's about London, her needs, her wants. I told God I'm never gonna let her lack. As growing up in a single parent home, I always said that she was gonna be around her dad. So if she was gonna be around her dad, she was gonna be around you. That's just what it was gonna be. No, I didn't agree with everything that was done. No, like especially like when she got her ears pierced. That was the most. That was just like the you didn't know.
Did you think that I told them to do that?
Just because you was with them and I didn't know you.
Got it.
I didn't know you. So I felt like that's one of those examples of where I felt like, oh, she's trying to take my place. Knowing you was just with the family going out to the mall, and it was an impromptu go get her ears pierced, surprise her mama. But her mama wasn't seeing it as a surprise because her mama hadn't grew yet. And having agreements with Taria, like, okay, her first everything, that's what I want, us to do. At least that. But of course, not always knowing our conversation. So what was you gonna do?
Right.
All you was doing was going along for the ride.
Right. Right, for sure. So I guess that really answers another question that I have about anger, like how you dealt with any moments of just anger, and how do other moms, what can they do to overcome just dealing with angry moments?
That was one of my probably most angry moments.
Really?
Her ears pierced, and only because I waited till he got off TV. I was going to take her, but he asked me to wait. And
got it.
he did it.
Mm.
So for me, I felt like he was trying to be funny because my mind was thinking all negativity. It wasn't nothing that y'all could tell me that it wasn't. I couldn't find nothing positive about the situation at the time. So I mean, as far as anger, you got to deal with you first. You can't. This all goes back to you. You have to deal with you first. You got to learn how to grow. You gotta have to access your growth. You're gonna have to let whatever you holding on to, let it go, and step up and be the woman that you need to be, especially for your kid, because that's our kids watch us. I don't care if it look like they into their phones, if it look like they playing the game. I don't care what it look like. Our kids watch everything we do. They feel what we feel.
Everything.
It's just a given.
Yeah.
But I really didn't notice that until I was noticing, because London would go with y'all like every other weekend or every weekend. So I was like, I started watching it, and it's like, oh, she do know what's up. After me and you fought for years, we heard, even up until like not too long, like a couple years ago, she still like, do you like my mama? Do my mama, do you like Charmaine?
Yep.
You know, because and London was a little kid, like a on the bed kind of kid. And she remembered that.
Yep.
For years, and I felt so bad about that. I felt so bad about that. So I would say you access your growth and dig within yourself, and after healing is the main thing. I preach that forever. Healing is gonna be the main thing. That's gonna be the starting of the letting go of the anger. Because if you still got that animosity towards your child's father, every little thing he do is going to get to you. First of all, he already know how to get to you if you done been with him for a while. So he knows how to push your buttons. So you gotta also keep that in mind. Like, okay, we done been through this really before, but because it's another person in there, oh, you trying to be funny in front of her now. It wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't another person, but because it's another person in the picture now, oh, you trying to play me. And because you trying to play me, okay, we're gonna both play this game. Because you're not about to make me look stupid. You're not about to play me. So you gotta get that, all that stuff. You gotta get that stuff out of the way. I didn't care. It didn't matter. Taria didn't talk to me. I'd be like, oh, okay, what's up, Charmaine? Blah blah blah. And then after a while, we all got together and we talked about it. And it was, and even you also, when we a part of the healing process, you gotta accept those apologies that you might not ever get. It's so cliche. It was plenty of times where I'm like, all I want this boy to do is say he's sorry. And I promise you, everything will just leave. I did not hear I'm sorry from Tario until we did our first Blended Families Conference in Virginia.
But what about when we went to Fats that night?
Then I felt like he wasn't sincere. I felt like he only was doing that because he wanted London to be in y'all's wedding.
Oh no!
Because somebody had.
I get it. I understand.
Because it had got back to me about something about the wedding. I forget, but I know that I was like, I don't feel like he being sincere.
Wow.
So then when we had that conversation, I just told my dad, I was like, that's her daddy. I don't care what we done been through. I don't care how mad I am. I don't care if they don't invite me to the wedding. That's her daddy. And I'm gonna let her be in this wedding. Because I had said it to him. I said, she ain't been in that wedding.
Wow.
And you sit here and disrespect me like that? No, I'm not. I said I will get in my car and go somewhere. And I bring her back the day after y'all's wedding. Because I still wasn't, it wasn't because y'all was getting married. It's just because I didn't feel like he was being sincere to me. And I still was looking for that apology. And I thought that I was healed. And I thought, I just didn't know I was healing. I wasn't healed.
Got it.
So whenever he went through that whole thing, when he said he was sorry in that thing in the conference, that's why I looked like, if anybody got a record, and I was like, I was like, okay, I don't need it no more, but okay. But
Wow.
it still took something else off of me that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know was still there.
Got it. Got it. And that
So
was a part of, was that a part of, because you were already at a place where you were healed, right? But you feel like that was almost like the icing on the cake?
I think that's what made me more open to seeing that he had grew.
Got it.
I
Got
think I was more receptive to him because I started seeing like changes in him.
it. Mm-hmm.
I would see he would try to, get us together. Sometimes I would see he would try to include me in things, ask me to come up there, or
Mm-hmm.
y'all allowing me and allowing me to stay at y'all's house, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, people was weirded out by that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what, what, it,
Yeah.
what we gonna be doing? So people not used to that.
Yeah, you're gonna be sipping, but you
Okay,
not so much because you a little lightweight.
but I'm
We'll
married.
get you there though.
But yeah, so and those were some of the highlights of that. Was probably staying at y'all's house was another part of my healing,
Mm-hmm.
because it made me. I used to be like, oh, I would never even go to the house
Mm.
because I don't want to see that. I
Mm.
don't want to, because at that time, me and him weren't talking, so Taria wasn't really up there where he should have been.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, so he can do this, but he can't do that. So I was like, nah.
Mm.
But when you ask, I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
had some amazing times,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
me being up there.
Right.
So, it's just, I had, once you
It
go
was
through the
only
whole
like
healing.
what, a weekend, but we still like we it was just, it was solid. Like we had fun, like conversation.
Yeah.
It was really mostly you and I. He would go out and do whatever he was doing, but it was a great time for us to bond even more and for London to even see that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You just see that that's really a
And just be a
possibility.
child.
Yep, and
To
just
be
be a
loose
child.
and be a child, because
Mhm.
I can only imagine the years that she was
I don't know.
struggling as a. Hmm,
I'm not saying I don't know what my laptop just did, but go ahead.
oh, just seeing her struggle as a child because of adults,
Mm-hmm.
because she had no clue. She would have had no clue of what was going
Right.
on. I have never talked bad about her dad in front of her,
Mm.
so she would have never knew. It's
Mm-hmm.
just my anger just sometimes boiled over,
Mm-hmm.
and women, like, your anger can be this small, but
Mm-hmm.
that person can do something to you so little, and
Mm-hmm.
your anger already down here, but they do something this big to you, it's gonna get that big. And sometimes you can't hold it in because you got the cares of life, you got worrying about your
Mm-hmm.
child, you got work, you got all that stuff already piled onto you.
Right.
Then this situation you trying to handle at home, I guess, per se, and they ain't even really do that much, but because you ain't healed properly and
Mm-hmm.
you ain't trying to grow like you should, it's gonna be like booming. It's gonna happen in front of your kids,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what happened with the fight that me and Charmaine had.
Mm-hmm.
It blew up for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason. No reason.
Well, you know, thank God we've gotten over that because everybody's not able. I believe if that were their situation, everybody. I don't think that everybody's able, but I do know for sure that we are proof that it's possible.
It can. It can
It's
happen.
absolutely 100% possible. And, I'm sure that night that we had the altercation, you were in a frame of mind that a lot of bio moms are in when they're in that the type of situation that we were in at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bio moms want to beat the new woman down. You know what I'm saying? Like because they're just angry and they just want to they want to find a way to take that anger out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't the way because it comes with consequences.
Yes, it
Right?
comes with that, and it's not fair to your kids. It's
Right.
really not fair to your kids, and it's really not fair to the bonus mom, because, like I said, she don't, she coming into this thing just like you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had to, face. Like, I literally had to face it. And my whole drive to Augusta, I'm like, I know this didn't happen. Ain't no way this happened in front of my daughter. Ain't no way this happened in front of my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
So, what have been some of your biggest fears when it pertains to motherhood and in a blended family, and how have you triumphed?
um, something that I have been delivered from was comparison.
Mm,
Um, I used to try to compare myself. I used to try to, and I'm not meaning like compare myself like, okay, what she got, I don't got, blah blah blah. Now, in the beginning stages, yeah, but I mean comparison as a mother. Like, I used to try to, she get something there, I want to make sure she got it here too. She get a dollhouse there, I want to make sure she got a dollhouse here too.
got it.
She go to Florida here, I want to make sure she go to Florida too. Now, there are things that I'm gonna do for my kid because that's just all I know. That's
Mm,
just, she's my only one. That's just that. She's spoiled. I don't know what else to say. She's blessed. I'm gonna say that she's blessed.
yes.
So, but Kawan had to open up her eyes one day when she looked at her bank account and say, "Baby, them two working adults. Those are two working people in one household. You are one person.
Mm,
When she go up her daddy house, if she don't got something here, she can have it at his house. When she
mm,
go somewhere with her daddy, let her have a good time. I would never strip her from being able to travel and doing all the things that she do with y'all. I would never strip her from that.
mm,
So I had to stop like comparing myself to, y'all, what y'all was doing for her and trying to make sure, and failure.
mm,
Feeling like I was failing as a mom because I couldn't do certain things or I didn't have the money to do certain things. And I guess I felt like that because all my life, my mom, she never stopped me from seeing my dad. Never.
mm,
But I could not ask my dad for nothing. Like,
mm, mm.
if she didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. But she always did it. So I'm her only child too. So
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with getting everything that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't get it in the time that I wanted because I'm my only child, it's like, oh well, I can I ask my daddy if you can't get it this till next week, And it's like, no, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I never asked my mom why she was like that, and probably because it's generational. Her mom, my grandma, probably did the same thing because she was a single parent too.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe it's a generational thing, and it hit me too because I had to watch my mom be a single mom, work, and wherever I wanted to go, however she made sure it was done. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel like I don't want her asking her daddy for nothing. He should know. And it was times where she would need socks, she would need certain things. And y'all, you hit me up one day and you was like, Kawan, did she need anything? Because you never call and say she need anything. And I was like, it's hard for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I did that, I felt like I was failing. I felt like I wasn't being um a mom, a real mom. I felt like, okay, what is it that I'm not doing? Like, I'm working every day. Why am I struggling like so much? Like, and when y'all ask me, do I need anything? Oh no, I'm good. And that's when my pride hit. Like, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I would make it happen, but I was struggling making it happen when I really could have just said, yeah, I do need that.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, I still ain't the best at that.
Mm.
I've gotten better at it, but I ain't the best at calling asking for nothing.
Yeah. I get it. I understand. I understand.
So, failure and um just feeling not like I'm not good enough
Mm-hmm.
and struggling like as a mom, that's just one of those things where, and even though I know she has everything that she needs, even with the wants, I still feel like I can't do it sometimes.
Mm.
I just can't do it sometimes. And we have a bomb support system between me and, you and Taria and her grandparents on both sides. Like, the child wants for nothing, but just as a mom, you want to be able to have that stability, and you want to be able to have that. Okay, she want that. Okay, I'll get it. Or instead of saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna move this and do that, so she can do that, and I can get her this, and I move that," and try one of them rob Peter to pay Paul kind of situation. It's just off the strength of I want to be able to do it, not because I want no cape on my back or I want to be this super mom. No, because that's what I'm used to with my mom.
Right.
And I feel like I'm failing if I can't provide that.
Got it.
So
But that's something that you used to struggle with, though, right?
I still do sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's not as bad. Like one now that thing about me trying to keep up with the Joneses. Oh no, I'm out of that because I it's no way. It's two. Y'all have careers and y'all both in this as one. So if he say if Tario wasn't working and he couldn't at some point, you was there to pick up that slack and vice versa. With me, it's just me. So even though I know that y'all will help me, it's still sometimes hard. Now, if it's something, health wise or something like that, I'ma say it. But if it's something like some shoes or some something like that, it's just hard for me to do it. It's just hard for me because I don't know. I had the I had it real bad, but now it's not as bad. But I was like, okay, they don't know that I'm a working mama. It ain't like I'm trying to use them for their money. It ain't that I'm trying to. They give me money because a lot of people and coming from what we're used to when it comes to bonus moms and the parent. They think a lot of people think that, oh, you give me child support, I'm using it on me, and that's that will mess you up mentally because that's what you used to hearing. That's what you read on Facebook. That's what you hear in the communities with your other friends that are not with the child's father no more. That's what you used to. So it plays in your mind like, I'm not asking them for the money, and they play me and try to say I'm trying to use it for me, and they ain't never seen my daughter. That's how I used to. They ain't never seen my daughter dirty. They ain't never seen me let her go out like no buster or whatever. But because that's what we're used to, that's how we act. That's how we think.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So I ain't saying ladies, I'm still growing with y'all. I'm not perfect at none of this stuff. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. But you got to access that growth so your kids can move along because God forbid it happens for your children. Hopefully, all of our children are married and, do whatever. But if just in case they don't, they have examples to see like, okay, I can get along with my child's father and his wife. Because if they don't have the example through us, they definitely it's hard to get it out here in these streets because they don't see it out. They're not gonna see it out there, and if they do see it, it's very rare.
Agreed. Agreed. Dang, that is so good. That is so good. Um, I noticed. No, no, let me ask you this. So, with you saying all of that, right, and how sometimes you still struggle in certain areas, for you, let me ask you, what is it? And maybe this can help another bio mom too. Hopefully, it will. What is it, or even a bonus parent? What is it that me as a bonus parent, Tario as a father, what can we do more of today that would help you in that area? And honestly,
I think shooting a text
okay.
or asking, and I ain't even gonna front. You used to ask me more than Taria did. I used to be like, she ain't even her daddy. Why she doing that? But if you don't get the concept of marriage, you're not gonna understand that why is she doing his job. Because I aspire to get married one day. I look into marriage. I watch people. I look on internet, I read books, because that's something that I want, and because that's what I want. I didn't understand, like, okay, she calling me, or why is it coming from her cash app and not his? Not realizing it's really coming from him. Either way it goes, it's coming from him.
Yeah.
And then I had got over that phase, like, oh, she don't gotta buy my daughter nothing. I'm good. Baby, you want to buy her what? Okay. That's just where I am now, because I'm like, she ain't trying to do nothing but give her more love and give her more than extra things. So it ain't that, like I said, it ain't that you trying to come in and do more, or trying to act like you the mama and try to move Taria out the way and take over. It's not that. You're his wife. So you're just trying to make sure she good. And where you see him slacking, you trying to push him to do better. And
Or even better, him, there'll be times where he'll tell me, can you reach out to Kawan?
Because he gone.
I'm about to send you this. Can you send this can you make sure she gets this? Can you make sure? And there are times where I've been uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? But it's a learning process.
It is.
Okay. If that's what he needs me to do, I'll do it. Even if I don't,
because
don't.
that's come at that point. I'm learning, like, that'll come between you and him. What's going on at y'all's house? So that's, like I said, the mom is gonna have to be like, okay, once you heal and once you go get to know the person, you still got to see other things. You still got to look into other aspects of life. Like, you got to see. You can't just see, because as the only child, I would see things one way when I was younger, and like I used to feel right, and you couldn't persuade me like different. Like, I'm right. But as an adult, I see things. I don't care what nobody tells me. I see things from every aspect I can. And whenever I start seeing you like send me money, or feel like, oh, it wasn't from Taria, I was like, girl, this about the lamest. You can't even get no lamer. Like, bro, how would she know if he didn't tell her? How would she know what the child need if he didn't tell her?
Yeah.
But just because I thought that didn't mean I always agreed.
Right.
I didn't always agree with it, but as I'm growing, I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. Oh, you want to send London this? Oh, Charmaine, you want to take London shopping? Oh, okay. Bye.
So I'm sure that there is I know for a fact, because I just spoke to one maybe 6-7 days ago, and she was talking to me about her frustration with the fact that she is always communicating with the bonus mom more than the father, and it's irritating to her, and she doesn't understand why. And I tried to explain to her, exactly what we're talking about, and me telling her, listen, is there a possibility that you can try to see it from a different lens? You know what I'm saying? And just see that it could be that she may not want to be doing all of this, but if her husband is asking her to, she really, I'm not gonna say she don't have no choice, but she's trying to be respectful and she's trying to be submissive and, all that kind of stuff. So I think that this particular topic is great for bio moms who are feeling that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I had to, I was feeling like, I felt like her. I've been in her shoes. But it's aggravating, because it's like, okay, I still don't really know you like that for you to be in my business. But okay, I'm gonna deal with it, because that's you, the wife, and it's for my daughter. That's how I got. But I did ask. I was like, okay, why I'm having to go through you? But it's also a respect level that I had to learn, that it was between a husband and a wife. I had to learn, like, because I was, we worked together at some point, especially in the beginning phase. You might not have been as comfortable yet, and that's normal, because we was together. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. We was together, and you trying to still figure out, is it still a little bit more, something inkling in there. I'm trying to make sure I can trust my husband or my boyfriend. I'm trying to make sure everything is everything. And it is aggravating sometimes where you don't talk to the child's father. But if the child is taken care of and everything, the need is met, what do it matter?
Right. Right.
But I do get where she was coming from because I was there. But it's a respect level too. Because I used to be like, okay, are you trying to save face? Like, what is it? But no, it's a respect level. He still got to respect you. But it got to a point where y'all both was coming at me. And it was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Maybe he was giving her a chance to get to know me. Maybe he was giving her a chance, to be open, because it's gonna be times where he's out of town and everybody don't travel. So maybe it's the man is at work, or maybe he can't get to, or he don't have cash app, or he don't have something, or maybe the wife is out and she can send the money. Maybe you just have to think, though. You have to be logic. You got to think about life.
Now, not to cut you off, but I want to ask you, because you just said about, maybe he'll be out of town or whatever the case may be. What would you say to bio moms who have children and the children are at the other parent's house when the biological father is not there? How did you get through that? Because I know in the beginning, or there were some, not in the beginning, but there had been some times where you weren't comfortable with London being down here with me by herself. How did you, if there's another bio mom who is experiencing that, how did you get through that?
I watched how you were. I don't even know if you ever knew I was watching, but we could be talking like this, but I still would watch how you interacted with her. And it's a trust level too. It's a trust level. And even though me and you didn't get along, even when we wasn't getting along, I never saw you be like one of those. It's the vibe, because you can tell if you want, some may call it a vibe, some may call it discernment, whichever way you want to do it. But I never felt like you were intentionally trying to hurt her or do anything like that. And I felt like I had to have enough trust in Tario to know if he was willing to leave her with you, then obviously he knew that you wasn't gonna, wasn't nothing gonna happen to her, or you wasn't gonna have her around nobody that she wasn't comfortable, or make her feel no kind of way. And that comes with getting to know you too as a person. And it wasn't easy because I was in that still, and I, up until not too long ago, really honestly, like a couple years ago, I really wasn't comfortable with it. I just wasn't. But it was just because I'm like, okay, is she gonna know what to do? She's not really a parent, so does she know what to do? This is she gonna do this right? But then I was like, bro, she grown. It ain't really too much she can, do to her, and it ain't like you. And I watch, people's company. I watch that, and y'all know I don't play that with London. I don't do all that, spend the night and all that stuff. It's just red. Like, I have to really, really know you for all that stuff. So, you don't keep no bad company. People running in and out your house doing all that extra stuff. Y'all don't do that. So I was like, because you think, oh, well, people touch on kids, people do this, people do that. Y'all don't have people running in and out your house. Y'all don't have no bad company and all that stuff. So I just was like, if London come back and tell me she's not comfortable, we'll all talk. And yes, she can come and talk to me. I'm gonna talk to her daddy about it, and we all gonna get together and we gonna talk about it and see what's going on and how she felt. But she never came back and told me that she wasn't comfortable. And I was that parent also where I'm like, I don't need no break. I don't. I never was with her dad, with you, anybody. I don't need no break. But baby, what you say, Charmaine? You coming to? You want me to meet you where? Because that's just the trust that I have in you, regardless of our differences and all that. That's the trust that I have in you, and you not giving me no other feeling.
I appreciate that, for sure, And I mean, I think, I if it ain't one thing that you've known about me or you've learned about me, I don't have a problem being vocal.
Right.
I don't play about those that I love. If they're ever disrespected, mistreated, I'm going to the moon, honey. And so, I I really appreciate that. And I think that that was really good what you said about just watching, and just catching the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like not jumping too soon, or assuming, just sitting back, watching, taking notes, you know what I'm saying? And then knowing when it's time, it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Based on your assessment.
Right. And it's times where, y'all here or I'm there and London sitting on your lap and it's just you watch that kind of stuff.
And have our feet all over you. I'll be like, London girl.
Right. And kids gonna tell you if don't nobody tell you. Kids gonna tell you if, oh no, I don't want to stay with them. Or it's just like, oh my mom, I don't want you to leave. I don't want to stay.
Yep.
And your kids are definitely gonna tell you. And like I said, she never has come back. And I have watched London, and it used to be uncomfortable. She crawling all on you and doing all that stuff because I never saw that. I never had that relationship with my stepmom like that. She wasn't feeling us like that. So I didn't do all of it. So to see it happen, see in London, I'm like, okay, so she not being extra. Charmaine not being extra. She love her. She love her.
Yeah.
So I trust that. I trust her dad, and I trust he know even just being his girlfriend, he knew that he could trust you around London. It ain't because he had to go nowhere, because he know me or his mom would have came and picked her up. He knew that he could trust you, so I felt like I could trust him. So
Now I remember one time, this was when Tario and I were dating and London was with us. I remember she came to you and she told you that I spanked her, which I've never ever done. Thank God, that never happened. But what do you feel about bonus moms and discipline when it comes to the bonus kids?
I think it's
I've never put my hands on London. What I have done is, like, what I'll do is, I'll get quiet. Like, and I'll just step back. I'll go in my little corner, and until I kind of process whatever has transpired, right? But then there'll be times where I've asked London, because she's getting older now, and so sometimes she can smell herself just a little bit, and
a lot of it.
I remember maybe a few months ago, I was trying to do something, and she oh, that fly is wearing me out. I was trying to do something with her with schoolwork, and I tried to get the headphones from her, and she pulled them back. Like, I said, "Are you nuts?" And that's like, and my voice was like to the roof because I was so shocked. But that's literally like I felt so bad because I was like, oh my God, I've never yelled like that. And so, nevertheless, how do you feel about bonus moms disciplining their bonus children?
I think you gotta grow into that. It goes into the whole growth situation and getting to know that person. And even when we were not getting along, I always, from the beginning of time, I'll never forget, me and London was at Waffle House, and I told her, I said, she's like, but mama, she ain't my mama. I said, no, she not. But you're not gonna disrespect her. I don't care what you seen me and her do. I don't care what you've heard us talk about. You will never disrespect her. If your daddy there and if he's not. Because I didn't grow up that way. So I think you gotta grow into the whole discipline thing. She probably got like spankings when she was younger, but I don't even know the last time. I don't even remember. But I told you a couple of months ago, London had been up there, whatever, after Christmas and stuff, and she had been with y'all, during this whole little COVID process, and you was like, I just had to leave, and I'm looking at you like, what? Because I'm like,
that's when I called you.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, Charmaine, don't call me no more. Take her phone.
Kawan.
If y'all, one thing I used to have an issue with, feeling like my parenting was being questioned, or decisions that I was making, when y'all really was probably just asking me, why this happened or why that happened, because y'all not here. But I just felt like my parenting was being questioned so bad. I don't know. I just had this feeling like, because I guess it was coming from the failure part of it. So, I was like, Charmaine, you done been around long enough. Take her phone, because that's what she likes. That's what kids are attached to. She don't play games. She don't do the whole Fortnite, all that game stuff. So take her phone. Don't let her watch TV. Make her read a book. And and it got to that point, because I trust you with discipline her. I don't feel like you're gonna just beat her or just make her feel no kind of way. I feel like that you're gonna do it the responsible way. And because I trust you with being with her alone, she ain't no way you gonna, her daddy might be in the air, I might be at work, and she gonna keep on having an attitude, and you gonna keep on letting her. No, ma'am, no. You can't do that, because if I didn't trust you with her by yourself, and knew discipline is gonna come with that, if she's doing not doing what she would do around us, it's gotta come. Or I'm gonna just say, well, no, I don't want her to be with you by herself, because I don't know how you can. It can't be like that. It can't be no in between. You're gonna either have to, if she's gonna either listen to you or she ain't. And if she ain't, then of course you can call me, because there used to be times where you would call me, and of course she's gonna do right. But if I kept allowing you to call me, that means she was never gonna learn that level of respect that I felt that I was teaching her to have for you. So I feel like discipline comes along with the growth process, and how much you trust that other the bio mom, and getting to know her and watching how she is with your child or your children, and then you got it also it starts at home. You gotta you gotta let them know, like, because kids is crazy. They be like, you ain't my mama. I done seen it happen plenty of times.
Yeah.
And baby, we ain't trying to be mamas out here in these streets. We're just trying to love you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta wait until it don't start it out trying to do too much. And that's what a lot of people I've seen a lot of people do. They start out doing too much for me. And that's another thing that brings along attitudes, and trying to figure out like how this gonna be.
I literally just posted a video about that. You saw that? I posted a video about it the other day, just about how bonus moms who desire a better relationship with the bio mom, they need to stop doing certain things. For example, posting more pictures on social media than the bio mom does.
You're right. Oh, I think I did see that, and that's true.
Yeah.
Posting pictures. You posting pictures with London. See, I don't think that ever been the problem. The problem was it happening because it happened so soon. It's like everything was just getting thrown at me. I didn't really know what was going on. It was still some stuff going on in between, and it was just like, okay,
I'm confused.
What's going on? You know what? And then it's other people confused, because they know me as a person and a mom, so they like, what's she trying to do? Like, she trying to be funny, and me not trying to get to know you yet. I'm like, oh, is she trying to be funny? But it's nothing wrong. Bonus moms, you posting a picture with London, that's just another level of showing me that you care about my daughter. Because especially the ones that don't have children yet, y'all don't gotta post no kids on y'all page if y'all don't want to. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. That's a choice. That's a choice of yours. So that just let me know that it's another level of love that you have for her, and you don't mind the world knowing that you love her. And if it's fake, with some of the people, it do be fake. But if it's fake, that stuff comes out later on.
Sure
It's gonna
does.
come out.
Sure does.
But with us, as far as us, and a lot of people, if you just get to know them, like, it's just genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Now you post pictures every minute, every second. Some people be trying to do
That's
too much.
overkill.
It happens. It definitely happens. But y'all going to Florida, going at the beach or at the house, and we actually send that stuff to each other. People don't know it, but we mostly sometimes send it to each other first
Mm-hmm.
before it's put on social media. This stuff got to happen outside of social media. Just to put a little pin in it, this ain't just for social media, just for y'all to see and think, oh well, yeah, if they can do it, I can do it. No, this stuff got to happen outside of social media too,
Mm-hmm.
because it eventually pours out and y'all see like, oh, that's fake, that was faking,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about us not having no problems, because we're gonna have problems whether you see it on social media or you don't.
Yep.
We're gonna have problems. But if it's fake, if the relationship is fake, if all of this, the blended family stuff is fake, it'll come out eventually.
It sure will.
But back to the picture stuff, ain't nothing wrong with y'all posting pictures, because I mean that's just another level of love that y'all have for the kids.
Mm-hmm. Um, Let me see, man. We talked about so much stuff. Um, what would you say to? Let me ask you this. So, coming off of that topic, what is the most important thing that a bonus mom can do when it comes to building a relationship with a bio mom?
Um, keep outside people out your business.
Mm.
Because it's people that really care and it's people that pretend to care.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people come back and tell you one thing and then come back and tell the same person gonna tell the bonus mom something, and y'all mad at each other, not knowing that the person that y'all think y'all trust
Mm-hmm.
really got y'all's best interest at heart, and it's not that. So definitely keep people out your business and get to know that person, like I said, for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Not even through the dad.
Mm-hmm.
um if you got any questions, ask them. If you have any concerns, ask them. One thing I'm a firm believer of, I was talking to a guy that had children. We were not married, but we did talk for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the mama my phone number
Mm.
because I did feel like that the relationship was going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how I felt finding out. One of the hardest things I think finding out about another woman is hearing it from your child.
Mm.
And that was probably, you hear the names and it's like, London's dad popular, so you hear people's names and you keep it pushing, but then
Mm-hmm.
you consistently hear names. And my daddy and Charmaine went, or me, my daddy and Charmaine did, and you start consistently hearing a person's name, so that's when you know that, oh, it's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not the dad's business. It's not your business. It's no longer your business what happens to the dad after y'all. It's no longer your business. But I guess I say when it comes to me, like with me, I know how I felt, so I I, I inboxed her on Facebook and gave her my number and asked her to call me.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had met her kids before,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know like nothing was gonna go up. But I called her and she called me and I apologized to her
Mm.
because her kids really like me. And I told her, I said, I'm sorry that you had to hear about your kids from me. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and it wasn't from me first,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't from him.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for that because it wasn't fair to you.
Mm-hmm.
I get the kids stuff for their birthday, but before I pull out anything, I ask her, is it okay
Mm.
if I give them a birthday gift
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that? Like it steps to it, and If my husband one day, my future husband, have children, that's the way I'm gonna do it, because it's only fair to not be doing all that extra stuff and making people feel like you're trying to take a mama's place, or trying to, do more than what the mom doing for the kid. Like, it can get to that point. So it won't be no messy stuff and no extra stuff. Get to know that woman and talk to that woman and let her feel comfortable with even coming to talk to you about stuff or what she want to do. Maybe she, like with Charmaine, she might want to take London somewhere, and she like, Taria gonna say yeah, but being the woman that she is, she would also ask me like, okay, is it okay to take London? Her dad said yeah, but I want to make sure you good. And because if I see a picture, and in the beginning, if I would see a picture and I didn't hear nothing about it, I used to be like what's going on? So instead of all of that happening, be open and be aware of the other person's feelings and how you would feel if it was done to you. And that's how I was. I was like, I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, because that's have to be the worst feeling, to not know that another person is around your child and you don't know them. You don't know how they are. You don't know if they thump kids in the head. You don't know what they're doing to your kids. So, with that, going back to what you asked, I would just, get to know that person and be honest. Be honest and, talk to them and give them your phone number. You don't gotta talk through the dad all the time. Like, give her your phone number and let her know, like, call me. If it's a question you want to know about her or them, call me.
Yeah. So we got about 9 minutes left. I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions. And if they tie in together, what would you say to a bio mom who may be afraid to date again? And also, what is the last bit of advice that you would give to encourage a bio mom who feels like she is losing security in her role?
Okay. At first, I did not want to date. I didn't want to date because I didn't want her to be uncomfortable. But I would say talk to your kids, especially like the older ones, of course. Talk to your kids, and let them know, I'm gonna date because I'm gonna date. Kawan date now, you know. But I don't care how many people I decide to date. I can go on 52 dates. Not saying that I do, but I'm just giving an example.
Right.
Nobody meets my kids unless I'm dating with a purpose. And I ain't dating with a purpose with everybody. So don't be out here in these streets trying to date here and there and trying to settle down with everybody and thinking everybody is it, because that's not it. And don't let them meet your kids because that affects them. Don't be scared to go out here and date, and it's gonna be dope if y'all, if you have a blended family. That way, when your future husband comes into play, everybody can just chill and get to know each other and just raise kids the way that we should, that they should be raised. And, just be dope. Just be a dope family. Just one dope family, just raising our kids, having a good time, living life. And for all the moms out there that, are struggling with this blended family thing, it's okay to struggle. It's okay to struggle with this thing because it's not easy. It ain't like you about to wake up in the tomorrow and be like, "Oh, hey girl, how you doing?" No, because she might not be receptive to it. It's gonna be times where she gonna get on your nerves. And I mean the bio mom. It's gonna be times where she gonna get on your nerves. It's gonna be times where she gonna get on your nerves and you gonna get on hers. It's gonna be times where y'all not gonna agree for the rest of your life. You're not gonna agree because you are all different human beings.
Yes.
It's gonna be things that you don't want to accept because that's not how you were raised. It's gonna be all of that, all of those factors come to play. But at the end of the day, your kids is what matter. Don't be like, oh well, I'm not coming to them because they didn't come to me. Sometimes you got to be the bigger person and say, listen, hey, how you doing? Let's start this thing over and let's get to know each other. And it's not that you being fake, it's being that you got your kids' best interests at heart, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And don't try to be perfect because you're not, it's just not gonna happen. We're not, me and Charmaine are, it might be the next week, it might be something, just I might not feel like being bothered. She might not feel like being bothered. It's just those times. It's just human beings. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are. And once we learn how to accept each other for who they are, she might feel like I'm too loud. I might feel like she too loud. She might feel like I don't have no
You
emotions.
probably always gonna feel like I'm too loud. It's
And she
me.
might feel like I ain't got no emotions because it's a lot of times where I just be looking like I'm just real chill. But get to know each other before you assume.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure your kids happy. And that's what at the end of the day, heal and live and make sure your kids are happy because at the end of the day, they are who matters.
Mm-hmm.
And if that other person don't want to be a part of a blended family, don't give up hope because we could have gave up hope a long time ago.
Oh God, yes.
But we just keep trying. We just keep trying, and we learn from what didn't happen this time, and add it to what happened the next time. And we grew step by step by step, and we still growing. And I'm pretty sure it's just like you getting to know your kids. It's just like you getting to know your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You getting to know each other day by day. You know, week by week, month by month. You getting to know each other in ways that you couldn't believe that you like years ago. I would have never believed that I know Charmaine on the level that I know her by
Mm-hmm.
if I wouldn't have just stepped up. Not saying she wouldn't have, because she possibly could have, but because I decided to access my growth and say, well, I'm going to, do this, and we're gonna do this for London.
Yeah. That always, doing stuff like that always births something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about the time where you invited me to London's cheer event, and I had literally for almost a whole year, I had the desire to have some type of movement where, our story could inspire people. And,
Right.
that's when we had kind of first started, just kind of getting along better and talking, and there was light at the end of the tunnel. And
Definitely.
I had the crazy idea, like, yo, God, how can this be a real thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can our journey and our story really inspire people? And I have been working on it for months and months and months, but I was so afraid to just put it out there. And then,
Because that ain't what we see.
right,
It's not what
exactly.
people see.
Exactly. But when you invited me to London's cheer event, I said, okay, I feel like it's time now. Like, I feel comfortable enough to, it's almost like I just felt like I was released to go ahead and do that. And so I feel like every action, especially when it's positive, causes a positive reaction, and it allows room for just growth. And so I'm really, really just grateful. Honestly, I am.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you, like, on everything. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but if I haven't, I'm telling you now. I appreciate you. I think you are a dope mom, blessed mom, like your shirt says. That's what you
Thank
are. And so, I'm honored that, you trust me with London. And child, whenever I birth this big baby out, whenever it's coming, you gonna have some
Listen.
time, child, because I know. I
You know
know.
we ready. You know we ready to spoil. Period.
Brother, enjoy your brother, child. Y'all just have at it.
Listen.
I'll see
I
y'all in
know
2 days.
that's and mothers when y'all get to that level, y'all gonna be so free. You ain't
Period.
gotta worry about like who got my child. You gonna be so free, having a good time.
You winning. You
But
winning.
grow, y'all got it. Grow.
That is so good. Come on, thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And keep pushing
Yeah,
me, because
yeah,
people
man.
gonna see this and they gonna people gonna grasp. It's gonna happen. It's happening slowly, but people gonna grasp to it. And when they see their kids happy, it's gonna like gravitate like to everybody, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. Well, y'all, this is the end of this edition of this episode. I'm sure one day in the future we're gonna do this again at some point.
Come on.
But thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.